Hello, America, and welcome to A Political Talk Show. This is Matt McNeil at the board today. I know. This is Mr. Out to Lunch, Mr. Apolitical, in fact. But I'm here on Apolitical Talk Show. Hopefully you are enjoying the day so far today. We do have our guest today in studio. We've got David Tees with us. Thank you so much for joining us and being a part of the conversation here on Apolitical Talk Show. Always a pleasure having you.
Oh, I'm always glad to be here today on a political talk show on WRMN 1410 AM. So today at a political talk show, we're going to be talking about candidates throughout the Fox Valley area. It's going to be exciting. We got 4 people coming in today. So if anybody wants to call in, you can call in at 847-931-1410 if you have a question for our candidates. Or else you could text us on the text line at 505-926-1410 or chat with us on youtube.com at WRMN Radio. So we like to have your comments, your calls. You can ask the candidate a question. We are going to take a couple questions from people after we get done interviewing them. So without anything, we have today Marcellus Day. Awesome. In the studios. Marcellus, thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
It's great to have you here today. Marcellus is running for City Council of Elgin, but he is a write-in candidate.
Correct.
So it's a little hard. So he's got to get his name out to everybody. So everybody's got to remember Marcellus Day, right?
Yes.
Marcellus Day.
Definitely, yes.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Marcellus. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me on there. So I was born and raised in Elgin. And, you know, I've seen Elgin at its best, and I've seen Elgin at its worst. I've heard many people that have lived here talk about Elgin, especially like the older people. They talk about what Elgin used to be. And I hear, you know, we had malls, we had bowling alleys, we had movie theaters, we had all of this stuff. Well, unfortunately, my generation, we didn't get to see that part of Elgin. We got to see the casino come on in. Okay, that brought a little thing, you know. We got to see, obviously, Nightmare on East Chicago Street. We got to see all these events that they have in the summertime. But we don't have enough stuff going on, especially downtown Elgin here. I've seen in the last 15, 20 years, everything move over to Randall Road. And this side of Elgin is pretty much dying. Nobody really wants to come over here. They say it feels unsafe. There's nothing to do over here. And that younger demographic, they prefer to go anywhere outside of Elgin. Hoffman Estates, Schaumburg, you know, there's all these things out there that these people can do. So I said, you know what? I want to do my part. I want to try to help Elgin and bring Elgin back to what it used to be and what it should be. I have heard so many things. Elgin is bad in a bad area from people outside that live outside of Elgin. Oh, I hear it. So you guys are a lot like Chicago. No, we're nothing like Chicago. No.
The thing about Elgin is it's so unique in the sense that, of course, you know, even here at the radio station, right, we, of course, are part of the community in the Fox River Valley. And of course, we do talk a lot about different, you know, communities and Elgin being one of them because we are here, too. As someone who has grown up in Elgin most of my life, I have seen, of course, changes in Elgin, and I have heard many things, too, as I have family that has been in Elgin since the 1870s. Oh, wow. So there's definitely a lot of stories down the line, seeing how Elgin has grown within, of course, you know, go backing into the dairy industry back in the 1800s, and then the watch factory and the schools building and all of these different achievements as well here too, and also anything that might be in need for improvement as well.
Exactly. And I see that there could be a lot of improvement. I can see that Elgin, there are things that would definitely bring then the livelihood back to Elgin. Another thing I'm very strong about is restoring and keeping our historical buildings that we have here in Elgin. And I've seen over the years a lot of them knocked down. I see these historical houses just sitting and rotten. You know, you go down to the other end of Douglas and you see some of these houses, right? You go all the way down to the end. Those are beautiful houses. I grew up over on that end of Elgin. But you come closer towards Kimball, those houses are falling apart. And they all have a story to tell. So all these buildings, all these historical buildings, they all have a story to tell. So I'm like, okay, no one's doing anything. No one's trying. I know the Historical Society that they've put out grants. They have all this stuff. I grew up in a historical house, so I know all of that. But people are moving away from Elgin. They're moving to Wheaton. They're moving to Naperville. They're moving to these areas. Why can't Elgin be like that?
Would you say that it has something, in part, of course, to do with the structures that we have? Is it because there's certain maintenance that isn't being done, or is it just even a style of things? Are people looking for a little bit more of that modern taste and feel?
I think it has to do with a little bit of everything. I think it has to do with the modern taste and feel, but I also think that it's about the maintenance. People would rather, hey, we can knock down a building and build a new building, and then we don't have to worry about that. But that building that you knocked down has a story to tell, and we should be keeping that story and restoring that story. There's so many people that come. I've heard so many crazy stories about people that have come to Elgin and visited, and hey, they were in this building. Well, where's that building? Oh, it's been knocked down. Or that house. Hey, you know what? Like I said, I grew up in a house that actually was a part of the original Sherman Hospital.
Oh, wow.
We did our own history, and I said, man, as a kid, I was wow, that's crazy. And then here over the years, what it came a law office, it came this, it came that. These are the things that we need to keep alive because this stuff is dying.
Yeah, and preserving that rich history is important.
Exactly. And I also want to do, there are other things I want to do. I want to try, this might be very controversial, but what's happening with the homeless population, I feel like right now that we've put a Band-Aid on it, and we're kind of, okay, we dealt with what happened in Tent City, but it hasn't solved our problem. And I want to be a part in let's solve this problem because it is coming. It has been a problem for the last 5-6 years. It's gotten worse and it's getting, I see this, and that's also what's keeping people from coming to Elgin. And that's one thing that I plan on changing. That I really want to try to get in and make my how do I say that?
Make yourself known.
So-
Yes.
So my question to you is, obviously born and raised in Elgin. How old are you?
I am 32 years old. I know that's pretty young. Not many people my age are really diving in, but I'd say probably about a good majority of my life, I was always that one person that wanted to, hey, you know what? I see something I'm going to do. I want to change it. I started a business from the ground up. It's called Easy Street Detailing. And everyone told me, I don't think you can do it. And I had a previous employee previous employer tell me, it's going to take you 20, 30 years to get to where I'm at. And you don't have it. And I said, okay.
So, are you married? Do you have kids?
I am not married and I do not have kids.
Oh, so there's a single guy out there in the world.
Yes.
Oh, wow, that's good. Career guy. So, what would be a great vision for you if you got on the city council that you would like to see Elgin have? I mean, really something that is it vitalizing downtown Elgin? Maybe something that you see that we can bring businesses and entertainment or to the outside, Randall Road corridor. So what would you vision that you would see and work really hard on, making it something different in Elgin, something to change?
Well, I actually see a few things. There's a few things. Okay, so to revive, let's just talk about the downtown area. There's some things that we have down here that we need to clean up. And I know we've had a certain area, I'm not going to say, but it's been like this since the 80s, and we've not made a change. I know it would be hard, but unfortunately, we need to make that change because it's giving our downtown area a really, really, really bad name. I could see an entertainment, having some type of entertainment area down here, like a Dave and Buster's, a Main Event, Bolero, something like that. Also, I can also see like a water park or something but I would move that more towards Randall Road because of the 90 ramp and the amount of people that you see traffic over there. Something like that would bring people, in the summertime and have maybe like a little hotel or something like that, to bring people. And then another thing I would do downtown here, I would at least try to push for, is having more ethnic restaurants, more where people can say, hey, I want a Mediterranean, I want good old barbecue. I mean good barbecue. Let's go to Elgin. You know what? They have this spot, or they have like an area with just a whole block just filled, and maybe a little bit, maybe some more bars, stuff. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's been downtown to Geneva, that area, something like that for the downtown area. But like having more entertainment, more maybe, like I said, a hotel, comedy club, something of that sort to bring people to Elgin, see that Elgin is more than what they hear over the news or they see on social media. People outside of Elgin, they hear the negative. On social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they see, oh, well, this happened and that happened. Ooh, I don't know if I want to go to Elgin. So now I think if we have these things in Elgin, they're going to see that and like, ooh, let's go to Elgin. That's yeah.
Well, one of the things, Matt, Nightmare on Chicago Street.
Yes.
I've been to everyone except for last year and the year before. But that's one of the greatest things that Elgin has put on.
Yes.
Not the only one. There's others, but that's a great event that people come from a lot of places here, and we need more. I think stuff like that too.
Yes.
Don't you?
Yes,
That?
I definitely do. Nightmare. I went the first year that they did Nightmare, and I've been to it 3 times. And this past year was the biggest I ever seen. They had 60,000 people show up to Nightmare on East Chicago Street. I spoke with people that flew in to Elgin, never been to Elgin, but showed up to Nightmare on East Chicago Street. So I agree. That was one thing that was great. Now, hear me out on Nightmare on East Chicago Street. The only thing I think that they should change about it is the theme. Change the theme every year. You get more people. Oh, I wonder what they're going to do this year. I wonder what that theme is. The 3 times that I have went, this theme has always been the same thing. I think we should change it up. Not only, we brought 60,000 people this year. What happens next year if we change that theme? How many more people will show up?
Right.
Is
that going to pull in more people because
Yes.
it's something
different.
Yeah.
It's something, because I talked to a few people this year that went to Nightmare and they said, well, yeah, it's the same every year. This is probably going to be my last year going. And I'm afraid that that's what's going to happen. More people are going to, okay, yeah, we went. It was a one-time thing. We seen it. Okay.
Right.
We know what it's about. Now you change that theme and you have a couple different little things here and there, people will keep coming. And they'll bring more people and they'll tell more people, So, yeah.
So, as we're getting close here, about 10 minutes away from a commercial break, would you like to tell the voters, your platform, what Marcellus Day wants to do when he gets into city council day one? What would what would you like to accomplish? What would you like to become one of your biggest goals if you get on city council? Because every city councilman and woman has a great accomplishment that they have done while they're on city council, and that's something they could be proud of. So what would your future goal be if you got on the city council?
It could be a specific policy or initiative.
Yeah.
I would say that obviously an initiative. And I guess I'm going to lean back towards that because I feel very strongly about reviving downtown. I'm watching all the businesses leave. I'm watching that, and we need to do our part. I'm seeing some new businesses here and there popping up, but it's not enough. It's not enough. I've seen it over the years here and there, and I think we need to revive this area, and because everything's moving to Randall Road. And when people think, a lot of people that do know Elgin, they know Randall Road. They know all the places off of Randall Road. But I'm like, oh, you ever been downtown? Where's downtown Elgin?
Right.
So it's like, okay, no.
And we are seeing Randall Road growing. We're
And it
seeing
is
that
growing.
Algonquin location.
Yep.
We're seeing South Elgin
Yes,
as well,
yes.
too. I mean, we're already seeing they're building a couple new places.
Yes.
Just close off to Randall, and you make a turn on Bonkoski. I know they're building another Starbucks.
Yes,
There's another
yes.
restaurant over
Yes.
there, too. So it's definitely growing along that Randall Road. So
And then, also off of Lake Street, too, that area is starting to grow, too. And that was another thing I seen, like, and I know this has been pretty popular in Elgin where the dealerships, I know they were originally when we started, they were down here, and then they moved over to that way, and now they're moving either off of Randall Road or off of Lake Street, and now that area is starting to kind of vanish, so it's like we need to keep these businesses here to keep people to come down to this area. So I guess that would be my biggest goal between that. Like I brought up a little bit about the homeless. That's also another thing that I'm very strong about. And yeah, just basically giving Elgin a better name than what it is, than people know it as. So.
Basically, I was born and raised in Elgin, such as he was, Old St. Joe's, and like I agree with you, I would like to see downtown vitalize, and because that will bring more revenue into Elgin, it will build stronger relationships with the community of having people to do stuff like I've talked about on the show. Downtown was a happening place back in the 60s, 70s, and movie theaters and all that stuff. And I agree with you. I would like to see downtown grow and prosper and start getting some business here. But it's like with Nightmare on Chicago Street, they started bringing in Hispanic bands in the section, and you got to cater to a lot of different cultures and make it
Agree.
make it fun for everybody, not just a certain group of people.
Yes, I agree. They need to expand their horizon and make it fun for absolutely everybody. If you think about it with Nightmare, what's the demographic that goes? It's a younger demographic. What if we could do something so that the older demographic, we get different people coming, I think by doing that, this could come to be something extremely big, This is something that could be put on CNN. Hey, you know what? This little town in Illinois, or the city in Illinois, called Elgin, Illinois, has got this event they do every year, and people flying in from different countries. I have yet to meet someone say, "Hey, I came from France," for this. I seen that in Chicago when the Cubs won the World Series. I've seen that. I want to see that in Elgin. I want people to come here and say, "Hey, you know what? We came from Europe just to come to this event." Like, wow, that's crazy, So yeah.
we've got a commenter here. Nat1 Gaming says, I think we need to have a Zeppelin and blimp landing pad in the downtown area. That would be unique.
Yeah,
That would be unique. That would be unique, and that's something right there. Having unique things that make us stand out from our surrounding areas. Honestly, there's so much we could do that could make us stand out, like the water park thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there aren't that many water parks around us, so by having that brings people to come to Elgin. I know I brought up about the Dave and Buster's, and having that, I still feel that we should have something like that. Maybe more retro gaming things out here. There's I worked at an establishment that had like pinball machines, and I was just amazed how many people were into that pinball, all ages. And
It's
I know
in West Dundee. I know
there's
they do have one.
there's a place in West Dundee, but I have a vision that can make it even better.
is the one in West Dundee underground? Somebody told me it's like an underground.
That's what
arcade.
it's called underground.
It's called.
It's
Oh,
called
okay. I thought it was
It's not
underground. Okay.
Yeah, it's called underground.
That's what it's called.
When you were talking about stuff that makes Elgin unique, which is something that Elgin creates an identity. I agree with you on that 100%, because the Zeppelin landing pad is actually kind of pretty cool. But there was quite a few years ago where downtown by the riverboat, they had hot air balloons. They set up the hot air balloons.
Oh, I
they
remember
blew
that.
up.
I
You
remember that. I
And
do
they did,
remember that, yeah.
A little show when it got dark with the
Yeah.
flames, with music.
Yes,
It was
yes.
really cool. We all sat around in their food trucks, and we had a great time.
Oh, yes,
And
yes.
it was unique because little kids were getting a chance to see these things up close. And this is how we educate our youth on remembering stuff. Like getting a chance to see a hot air balloon up close and then watch that thing blow up.
Right.
And you're right. You are absolutely right to identify ourselves away from everybody else.
Exactly.
But to also bring everyone together. Too.
Yes,
Yes.
and that's another thing, to bring everybody together. And I will say this, living in Elgin, I've traveled a lot with my family, and I've been to a lot of different areas. And Elgin has something that I have not seen anywhere else, and it's that diversity, and that we can all pretty much get along. You know, you got different ethnicities living here, and I've gone areas where you don't have that, or you have, certain things said to you, and I'm like, okay, well, and like I said, when growing up, we traveled a lot. I've been to probably 32 states. I've gone to some states more than once, because why not? I love it out there. But like I said, I haven't seen something like Elgin.
So
Go on.
sorry to interrupt you, but we only got 2.5 minutes left here
2.5 minutes,
before a commercial break. So the bottom line is you're a write-in candidate.
Correct.
For City of Elgin City Council. So before you go, anything you want to say to the listeners? Because you got to remember, folks, he is not going to be on the ballot. When you go up there, you're going to see all the other candidates on there. You have to write his name in. And so knowing who his name is and all that, he's got a lot of hard work to do. But if you like everything he says, it's a process, and it's been done. People have won on write-in candidates. So anything you want to say to the listeners within the last 2 minutes we got?
Yes. So I am going, if anybody is interested in voting for me, I know my name. It's a long name. It's a pretty long name. So I'm just going to say, I'm going to spell it out. It is Marcelleus. And then my last name is Day, like today, Day.
There we go. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. We do have some comments here. We have Debbie in the comments. I would love to see an amazing 4th of July here. People go to Sleepy Hollow now for activities and fireworks.
Correct. Hoffman Estates also has the same thing, where they go have a giant event. Elgin could do the same.
Don't we have a fireworks show downtown Elgin on 4th of July?
So we do have a fireworks show, but these surrounding areas also have other things going on top of, like carnivals. They have all of that stuff. They have big bands that come out that, and unfortunately Elgin, we don't have that. We just gotta do the fireworks show, and it'd be nice to have something going on, an all day thing for the 4th of July, and then hey, everybody come around, and so yeah.
Absolutely. We also have the Dutchman's Wood Shack joining in. Hello, everybody. Good luck to everyone. Absolutely. That will be coming up tonight. We are going to be broadcasting live there. The doors will be opening starting at 5 o'clock. And then the official event does start from 6 and it goes until 9 o'clock. It is very important to definitely tune in if you'd like, or of course, go in person at the Journey of Hope Church. So we hope to see you out there. Stay tuned. Apolitical Talk Show here on WRMN AM 1410. We'll be right back.
Here we go.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Curdan. Brought to you by Sky Rizzy. Hundreds turned out over the weekend for the first weekend of the Kane County Flea Market in St. Charles. The market runs from noon to 5 on Saturdays and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays and will continue April 5th, April 6th, May 3rd and 4th, and May 31st and June 1st. Good news for a former member of the staff of Elgin's Unit School District U46, as Ushma Shah has seen her contract extended for 2 years as the superintendent at Oak Park Elementary School. She started there in 2022 and will continue through 2027. The Naperville Police Department highlighting their latest arrest report, including a Warrenville woman, age 30, taken into custody for driving on a suspended license and alcohol-related offenses on February 25th. On the same day, a 42-year-old Naperville woman was arrested for multiple traffic violations, including DUI and driving without insurance. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Curdan.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something? Boat wins! Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing? Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat.
Yeah!
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Hi, everybody. This is Steve Thorne, running for re-election to the Elgin City Council. So many of you already know me, and you know that my many years of volunteer work and ongoing service are all about helping the residents of our great city, especially our seniors and military veterans. We certainly have had our challenges, past and present, but Elgin owns my heart, and it always has. We are a strong city, a safe city, a city of neighborhoods, a city where people feel the touch of community connection. And that's part of our greatest strength. We look out for one another here in Elgin. And as your city councilman, I pledge to look out for you. I've been endorsed by both the Elgin Police and Firefighters Unions. I'm respectfully asking for your vote to continue serving you on the Elgin City Council. Paid for by Friends of Steve Thorne.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. A flood advisory is in effect through Wednesday morning for the listening area. This afternoon, rain showers with cloudy skies and a high near 49. Tonight, rain showers continue with cloudy skies and a low around 46. Currently, it is 48 with light drizzle. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Welcome back, everybody, to a political talk show here on WRMN AM 1410. We're broadcasting live here from downtown Elgin, serving the Fox River Valley. We have quite the day today, as we do have the Elgin City Council Candidate Forum coming up here in just a little bit. Stay tuned for that. We've got some, of course, very special guests here on the air with us. David, thanks so much for joining us today and helping to lead a political talk show today.
I'm glad to do it. I love being here doing the political talk show with the gang. Today, we have another special guest coming in right now. He's sitting next to me here. His name is Clint Hull, Hull, correct?
You got it.
He is running for mayor of St. Charles. Is it a mayor or village president?
Mayor.
Okay, he's running for mayor of St. Charles. So we're glad to have you. Thank you for coming here today. Couple questions we got. A little bit about yourself. Were you born and raised in St. Charles? Tell us. You have a family, kids? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. I really, really appreciate it. And born and raised, 57 years old. I've been in St. Charles all 57 years. Been married to my wife, Amy, for 32 years. She was from Park Ridge and got her to come out to St. Charles. Her family thought she was coming to Iowa. But we've been together for 32 years. We have 4 kids. The oldest is 29 and the youngest is 20, a junior at U of I. and just retired after a career. I had a 16-year career as a prosecutor, mainly with the King County State's Attorney's Office, then 15 years as a judge, including chief judge, and then just retired in August of last year.
Wow, the judge here. Yeah,
go.
that's good. And yeah, that's a resume right there, my friend.
Yeah.
What made you want to run for mayor of St. Charles?
Well, thanks for
What inspired you to do this?
Well, thanks for asking. I mean, there's really a two-part question or two answers to that. One is I grew up in a household. My mom was a teacher at the high school. My dad worked for St. Charles Kitchens, and we were taught at a very early age, my sister and I, that we were blessed to live in St. Charles, and that part of that blessing was to give back. So my parents, my dad was a Kiwanian, my mom was on the booster clubs. My entire life was just we were giving back to St. Charles, and so I learned to love St. Charles at a really early age. In addition, my parents were friends with the mayor. Mayor Norris was the mayor of St. Charles for 20 years, and so he was part of our lives. And so I gained a great deal of respect for the city council and what the mayor did. And over time, got to know Mayor Clint, Mayor DeWitt, Mayor Rogina, and just admired the work that they did and wanted to follow in their path. The second part is that ultimately, when I retired in 2024, trying to figure out what the next step was, and we had a new mayor. She was elected in 2021. But when I was a judge, I went down and was asked to go to a city council meeting in July of 2022 to swear in an alderman. And those are usually very celebratory occasions, but on that particular day, it was what I witnessed at City Hall was not something I'd ever seen before. The alderman who was appointed by a 5-4 vote. Usually those are unanimous decisions. And I heard our mayor use some language that I just was really uncomfortable with. She talked about the vote being about, she did talk to people, she talked to her people that were aligned with her. And it was just words that I hadn't heard come from the dais before. And so it really just motivated me to kind of go back and reflect. And I thought that what the city of St. Charles needed was a mayor who was somebody that was going to bring people together. And so those were the two different ways I got here.
Nice. I like that. That's good. St. Charles is a really beautiful town. You have a lot going for you. I worked for a plumbing company back in the 90s called Gardner's Plumbing and Heating, and I worked a lot in St. Charles. And St. Charles is got a lot going for it because you got small towns, shops downtown in St. Charles. You got restaurants. You got the Arcada. St. Charles has a lot going for it right now. It really does. And what would be something in your vision, if you were the mayor, that you would really want to see happen to St. Charles?
Well, first, I would agree with you 100% about, St. Charles has just been a great community. I mean, you talked about it a little bit, but we have great parks. We have great schools. We have a great library. There's just a lot of things that we've always had going. And as the mayor, what I want to see us do is I want us to see St. Charles continue to grow. One of the things that people talk about is, well, since you've been here, you don't want to see St. Charles grow. And I said, no, absolutely. We do want to see St. Charles grow. When it does grow, though, we have to make sure that we do it in a way that we remember what makes St. Charles so special. You talked about the small town feel. And so I don't think that they're mutually exclusive. I think you can continue to grow. But when you do that, you have to remember, again, that small town feel. And so whatever the project is, whether it's the redevelopment of the Charlestown Mall, the redevelopment of the old police station site, when we bring new businesses in, we just always have to remember what made St. Charles and what makes St. Charles so special and work hard to continue to grow, but not lose that small town feel.
Yes. That's what a lot of people are actually thriving for now out there when they're moving out to Kane County and, Elgin, St. Charles, Elburn, Huntley. They're looking for that safer small town atmosphere where you can go downtown and walk around and check out the stores and the restaurants. I actually liked going into Zaza's, which is right over there. And
I was just at Zaza's last night.
Yeah, it's a good place to eat. If you never ate there, Matt, go there for lunch. Prices are better. The food is excellent there. He loves his food.
I just met the owner, Dino, and just a fantastic guy and a great restaurant. One of many great restaurants in the downtown area. And then one of the other things, I guess, that I'd want to focus on is our downtown is fantastic. But I think the other thing is we have to remember that St. Charles is more than just its downtown. I mean, that's a great part of it. But we have fantastic restaurants all up and down from the west to the east side. And so the downtown is a huge draw. At the same time, we have a lot of other excellent restaurants that are on the west and the east side that I'd love for you to come down to St. Charles and eat at as well.
Does St. Charles have, I'm not really familiar with how much land they have. Does St. Charles have still a lot of potential for a lot of growth? Like maybe some bigger, you got Walmart off of the east side, far out west. Myers kind of falls in Geneva. Right?
It's right there on the right there on the border.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you got a Costco in St. Charles too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So is there more property, more land where you can start seeing bigger stores come on into there? Is there potential growth for that?
Well, I would say that we're not completely landlocked. I mean, there are different opportunities that present themselves. I mean, the redevelopment of the Charlestown Mall on our East Gateway is something. The mall has been empty for 7 years. We haven't been able to get that done, and that is a huge piece of property with a ton of potential. And when you talk about the opportunity to grow or new and exciting things, there's a lot of really new and exciting things that could come. But the first thing that we've got to do is we've got to have a plan to get that mall redeveloped. And it's just been sitting empty for 7 years. We've had a number of different purchases or contracts to purchase that were started and then they never followed through with it. And so, when I'm out knocking on doors, one of the number one questions is, what are we going to do? And that goes right into your, there's opportunities there. So there are certainly opportunities. And then what we also have seen in St. Charles is the repurposing of different businesses. And so we have a lot of good things going on and people that want to come to St. Charles.
Yes. So what would be your vision? What would you want the most in St. Charles with maybe where the Charlestown Mall is and all that stuff? And now with, I don't know what's going on. Maybe you could clue the listeners in with Pheasant Run. Pheasant Run has been completely torn down now. It's all gone.
Yeah, it is.
This land. So why don't you tell us what's going on with that too?
Yeah, well, I mean, again, that East Gateway, there's just a lot there, right? Yes. There's the Charlestown Mall that's been sitting empty for 7 years. Mm-hmm. There's the potential for a lot of mixed-use development, and just like up here on the north end with Spring Hill and Stratford, the old mall isn't gonna be something that's in the future. So, how do you take that down, and what do you take and put in its place? And I think we've heard a lot about mixed-use, residential, commercial. On the Pheasant Run side, I grew up. I worked at Pheasant Run. I went to homecomings at Pheasant Run. I swam at the cool pool at Pheasant Run. Pheasant Run is no more, but we've seen already some work that's being done, some car dealerships that have come in. And then there's opportunities for growth that include industrial, could include data centers. There's a lot. Again, it's what will the market bear? What are the people coming in and interested in? What are they proposing? And can St. Charles make it work?
Me and him have a lot in common because my grandfather worked for Pheasant Run for many years. William Woodworth, he was like the bar managers of all bars. So when I was a little kid, I ran around that place.
I went there for homecoming as well too.
Yeah. No, it's one of those things that, again, when you look at St. Charles and it was a huge part of who St. Charles was and our footprint, and people came from all over the country to go to Pheasant Run, attended weddings there. There was a comedy club. But that time has come and gone. And now the important part is, what do we do to continue to capitalize on the opportunities that we have there? And what can we bring, and how does that help us grow St. Charles? Mm-hmm.
So when you're out knocking on doors, talking to voters out there in St. Charles, what is maybe their number one, number two question that they ask you, their concerns about St. Charles?
Well, I wouldn't say, when I'm knocking on doors, one of the number one issues is communication. They want to know what's going on in St. Charles. They're thirsty for knowledge, but they don't always know how to get it. And so no matter what's going on in St. Charles, if you don't have a way to get that information, then you don't know what's going on. And if you don't know what's going on, then that gives you a little bit of uncomfortableness. In the court system where I came from, it was all about communication and transparency and making sure that whatever we did, we communicated that. And so when we start with St. Charles, we have six different generations. We have people, 65 and over that prefer to get their news by getting a newspaper or a newsletter. We have people that are my age, I'm 57, that like emails. Then we have the next generation that likes to get text messages. And then my kids want everything in a 15-second video, right?
Yeah.
So the goal for the city, when we're talking about serving the citizens, is making sure that whatever it is, whether it's a utility project, whether it's the mall, no matter what it is, we have a responsibility to get that information to them. And I think that, I know from knocking on doors that that's something that the citizens of St. Charles want.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's what a lot of people are more like. When you going to bring our taxes down? It's like when I was running for Kane County Board, that was one of the questions. Don't let our taxes go up anymore, that was a concern with them. But a lot of people, they're also here we had a different in Elgin, we had homeless problems and all that stuff. My question to you is: in St. Charles, are we seeing a lot of different changes in residents? Like how many Hispanic residents are in St. Charles? Like here, we're 52% Hispanic. And they are starting to become a big population in a lot of communities in a lot of cities. And would that be, my question to you is, and also the second question is, would that be a concern for you if you became the mayor there as to how you can bring everybody together, like restaurants and entertainment in a way?
Well, what I'd love to do, if I can, with your permission, is I want to loop back on when you were talking about taxes and increasing taxes. So, one of the things that I'm proposing if I'm elected, that I want to do is I want to create a senior commission. I can't do that unilaterally as the mayor, but I would want the city council to do that. And here's why. When you talked about the increase in taxes and the stress that it puts on, if my parents were alive, they'd be in their 80s, and a lot of their friends are. But one of the things that I consistently hear is, hey, I've been here, I've raised my family here, I want to stay here, but now I can't afford to because of raising taxes, because of utility bills, because they're on a fixed income. And it's a stressful thing because they want to stay. And I want them to stay. Our city should want them to stay. And so with the creation of a senior commission, we have a youth commission. I don't know if they have that in Elgin, but the youth commission focuses on the needs of the kids and the youth. And so I think that we should do the same thing with our seniors and bring them together to the table, combined intergovernmental, whether it's the county board, the city, park district, library, all the different taxing bodies, listen to the concerns that they have and then try to figure out how do we help them stay in St. Charles and what can we do? And so I know that was a little bit far afield from where you were, but I just, when you were talking about it, it was just something that the needs of our seniors is such an important piece of our community. Absolutely. And they've given so much. And I think that the city, what we have right now is we have one page on our website that says, here are the different resources. I want to make that easier. We need to, and the seniors deserve better, and that's what I'd like to do.
Well, one of the things is like, it's a fun example. When you're talking about the seniors, our Elgin Township supervisor, Ken Brutally, he has done a great job with the seniors programs there where they do the all access pass for seniors. You're 60 years old. You come in, you sign up, you get the access pass. And what they could do with this is go to any museum in Elgin and the Trolley Museum in South Elgin, as long as there's no big event going on there like the draws in there, but they could go in there for free. 100%. And then they could turn around and go in partnership with ECC, they can go and get their tickets in advance, see what acts are coming, comedians, musicals, operas, and all that stuff. And they can get, I want to go to this show, this show, this show. They just show them their access pass and they get a free $30, $20 ticket and they could go see a musical. They're getting out. They're meeting people. Yes. And then the guy also too on Mondays has a free lunch. Yeah. And
I love it. I love it. So when do you qualify? Because you obviously aren't 60 yet, right?
I'm a year away. Well, a little bit. I'm 59 and a quarter. Okay.
but I love that. I love it. And the other part about it is that our seniors that are there are active. They're vibrant. We have lots of great things going on. But them being involved in our community is a huge. They have all that experience. They have so much that they want to give back. So I just think it's a perfect. I love that idea. I think that. I'd love to bring that to St. Charles.
That would be a great idea. Yeah. So with the seniors and then with the youth, kids growing up and stuff like that. You guys got a lot of stuff to do in St. Charles for kids. You got water park off of Peck Road, up by where my sister lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was one of the things that we haven't talked about. As I come and I'm running, somebody had said, well, can you talk a little bit about your experience? And so I have that experience of being a judge, including being chief judge, which is the position that was responsible for serving over 550,000 people in King County. I was a prosecutor at the King County State Attorney's Office, but I was also on the park board for 8 years. From 1996 to 2004, I was the president for 2 years. And so, one of the things that I just love about our park district is all the different opportunities that we give the citizens, the different things that we have a teen center that we built out. We have a senior citizen edition that we put on. And so, that's one of the things that makes St. Charles great. And it's one of the things that gives me the experience. So not only do I come to the position with the experience as a chief judge and also as a prosecutor, but I also bring 8 years of being on the park board. And those are relationships that are important to the city.
This guy's resume keeps going up.
you
Park
go.
board, judge, lawyer, running for
Lots of
mayor. Wow,
experience.
he's got a lot of stuff going for him right now. Is there anything you want to say to any potential voters out there, swing maybe towards you, your platform, something you want to talk right now really quickly? Feel free to.
No, I appreciate it. I mean, I think ultimately when people look at the city, the city of St. Charles, there's a lot of really good things going on. So I'm not going to sit here and run for mayor and say that the city's in a bad place. It's not in a bad place. There's a lot of really good things going on. But that doesn't mean that we should be satisfied. And for me, good isn't good enough. We should strive to be the best city. I know I'm an Elgin, but I believe St. Charles is the best city in the state, and they deserve a mayor who's going to work every day to make sure that we elevate that. And so one of the things that I bring to the position will be 30 years of government experience. I mean, and a variety of experience. As I've said, judge, prosecutor, St. Charles Park Board, and then chair of the Illinois Association of Park Districts, and also engaged in a lot of community stuff. The second thing is, and we haven't really talked about it too much, but my whole life has been about building teams. And I think it's so important, no matter what the issue is that's going on in St. Charles, it starts and stops with, is the city council and the staff working together at its best? Because if you're not, we have 10 aldermen in St. Charles. They represent 2 aldermen, 5 wards. We need to hear from every ward and every alderman. So I've been building teams my whole life, and I want to do that. And then the last thing is that my energy, and I think you could probably see this, my energy for St. Charles is absolutely off the charts. I love St. Charles. I've always loved St. Charles, whether it's attending sporting events, whether it's going to art fairs, whether it's music, whether it's just being on the trail or being at the pool. I'm all about St. Charles and trying to elevate St. Charles. So that's what you'd get as me as your mayor.
There you go. And St. Charles, a lot of people go there. St. Charles has a lot of people with money in there, and you guys got great schools into there, great school programs. My nephew, his is Ryan Winters. His father is Richard Winters.
Okay,
you might know him.
Yes,
He's a lawyer too, litigator. So it's just there's a lot of. Actually, you got some famous people living in St. Charles.
Oh no, there's
the
Wahlbergs.
Yeah.
But you know what? If I could just jump back a little bit, because I'll tell you, one of the things that I do here is, St. Charles is an affluent community. And the other thing, though, that I don't think people realize is we have a lot of families that are in need. We have a lot of kids in our school system who don't have homes and are living at Lazarus House. We have kids who, through Fox Valley Hearts for Hopes, which is an organization that provides clothing and toys and at Christmas, but clothing and essentials. So we do have, even though, people say we're an affluent community, we do have a lot of people who are very much in need. And one of the things I'm so proud of St. Charles is we have so many great organizations that come together to make sure that those needs are met. But there's always more, and again, going back to the seniors, we have seniors who have needs as well. Mm-hmm. One of the things I don't know if you've played pickleball yet. Have you?
No.
All right. But, one of the things, we just had a fundraiser at the Park District. The Park Foundation had a pickleball fundraiser, and the money that was raised not only went to fund scholarships for kids and their families who wanted to be involved in programs but couldn't afford it, but also seniors who wanted to. And so it's just, we are lucky and we are blessed to have, an affluent community in a certain respect, but we also have a lot of people that are there that have needs, and it's the city's job to help them serve those needs.
So, Matt, he just said something about they have a homeless population growing in St. Charles. And, that seems to be going in a lot of communities. Like we have that in Elgin. We had Tent City. I'm sure you watched the story.
100%.
Is there anything that you see in the future that you can, I know we can never get rid of it, but maybe get more programs pushed towards helping these kids and these families? I mean.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, one of the things that I've been doing is I love our library, and I've been meeting with people. I call it Let's Talk St. Charles in Study Room 4. But one of the things at the library that I've seen is there are a lot of people who are homeless, who, and I know that this was true in Elgin as well, who use the library kind of as a place that they can go to stay warm. And I have seen, we have Lazarus House, which houses families who are homeless. And so I think that we've seen an increasing need. And at St. Charles and Elgin, any community wants to make sure that we're trying to be a place where people can come and try to figure out what it is that we can do as a community to try to help that. And so I think that there's always ways to do that. We've talked about a little bit about the judicial side, but I spent 5 years as the judge in charge of mental health court. And so it's called treatment alternative court, but it's where people who have mental health issues ended up committing crimes. And what we're trying to do during that period of time is help them manage their mental illness so that at the end, their criminal conviction might be erased and they could get help. And what I saw, I guess the way it loops around to your question is, what I saw is when there are resources that are directed towards people in need, in this case, people with mental health concerns, we were able to help and we were able to solve problems. Not all the problems. And I think that what you're talking about, it's the same thing. What resources can we do? What people can we, what resources can we throw? What energy can we do? It's not going to solve it completely, but do I think that we can do better? Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
We do have a comment here. User Nat1 Gaming, would you as a mayor of St. Charles be willing to loan out the city's economic development to Elgin so Elgin can learn from a thriving city as how to grow? Economic development team.
Well, I'll tell you, what I love about that question is the importance of cities working with cities.
Yes.
One of the things we talked about with St. Charles is the importance of intergovernmental, city, park, school, all working, library, all working together. And then there's a whole nother level, which is St. Charles working with Elgin, Elgin working with Dundee. The dam project is one of those where, there have been a proposal to remove dams and one dam removal might affect another one. And so, to the question, I think St. Charles working with Elgin, working with all the municipalities is a great idea because we can learn from one another.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for joining us today. And folks, if you do want to learn a little more information, find more information at wholeformayor.com. That is wholeformayor.com for more information. Again, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. And it was a great interview. Thank you for coming on in today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good luck with everything. Good luck.
Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
A political talk show here on WRMN AM 1410. We'll be back with more in just a bit into the 5 o'clock hour. Stay tuned.
This is Larry Jones, and I'd like to talk to you about my bank, American Eagle Bank in South Elgin. Has your bank changed names in the last 10 years? Is your bank another faceless branch with headquarters in another city? Are you tired of earning next to nothing on your savings account or certificates of deposit, or does your personal banker treat you like a stranger? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then you're ready for a new banking experience, and American Eagle is the place for you. American Eagle is a locally owned independent bank that's rooted in the community, and American Eagle customers are greeted by name and treated with the respect that they deserve. American Eagle has an innovative program, Eagle Savings, that teaches your children to save while earning prizes and rewards. American Eagle offers great rates on certificates of deposit. My bank is located in South Elgin on Randall Road between the Target and Caputo's and is open Monday through Saturday. Give them a call at 847-742-7400 and a real person will answer the phone. American Eagle Bank, a place where you matter.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 5 o'clock.
This is WRMN News.
I'm Marky B reporting. Tariffs imposed by President Donald Trump will hit home in Illinois, according to Governor J.B. Pritzker. Trump instituted a 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico and a 10% duty on Canadian energy products. He also raised an earlier 10% tariff on China to 20%. Canada and Mexico plan retaliatory tariffs, and China slapped a 15% tariff on myriad U.S. farm products. The White House says that tariffs are necessary to combat the extraordinary threat to U.S. national security, including our public health posed by unchecked drug trafficking. Here's a look at Illinois' trading portfolio according to J.B. Pritzker and Senator Dick Durbin. Trade exports support 800,000 jobs across the state. Canada and Mexico are Illinois' top trading partners. Illinois exported more than $20 billion in products to Canada in 2023. Illinois is the third largest exporter of agricultural products in the United States. In other news, GoFundMe campaigns have been created to help pay for the funerals of 2 high school students who died of accidental carbon monoxide poisoning inside a car early Sunday morning in Hoffman Estates. Jefferson Flores Ramos, 17 of Hoffman Estates, and Litzy Flores, 16 of Carpentersville, were pronounced dead just before 1:30 a.m. Sunday. Conan High School students were discovered unresponsive in a locked car at 12:37 a.m. on the 200 block of East Berkeley Lane in Hoffman Estates. Autopsy results indicated both teens died from inhaling automobile exhaust. The deaths were ruled accidental by the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office. The case remains under investigation, and among the issues they are looking into is whether there were issues with an aftermarket exhaust system installed on the vehicle. I'm Marky B. This is the talk of the town.
Produced in Studio 14 by the River Media Network.
From the pages of the Elgin newspapers of 100 years ago today, these are the headlines brought to you by the Elgin History Museum.
This is Linda Rock sharing stories that were in Elgin newspapers on March 4th, 1925. Thousands of Elginites, in listening over the radio today to President Calvin Coolidge's inaugural address in Washington, were part of the largest audience ever addressed by one person in the history of all time. Throughout the business districts, sets were tuned in on the inauguration. 2 radio sets equipped with loudspeakers transmitted to the president's inaugural remarks to high school students assembled in the auditorium. The majority of 7th and 8th grade students of the city heard the ceremonies over radio set up in the grade school buildings. At the post office, employees were allowed to take a half-hour vacation in order that they might hear the nation's chief executive. Students at the Elgin Junior College and Academy also enjoyed the unique sensation of listening in on the first presidential inauguration to be broadcast. The final touches are being put on the new Baptist organ by the 4 expert organ men from the SD Organ Factory at Brattleboro, Vermont. The great instrument has 2,079 pipes, 118 notes, and 37 stops, and is equipped with every modern device known to the science of pipe organ makers. The church organist, Gerald Stokes, and Dr. Stevens of Illinois University will play at the dedication recital next Sunday afternoon.
Elgin 100 Years Ago is a presentation of the Elgin History Museum. Be sure to visit the museum located at 360 Park Street in Elgin, open Wednesday through Saturdays 11 to 4. You may also listen.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. A flood advisory is in effect through Wednesday morning for the listening area. This afternoon, rain showers with cloudy skies and a high near 49. Tonight, rain showers continue with cloudy skies and a low around 46. Currently, it is 48 with light drizzle. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Want to furnish your space without breaking the bank? Or the planet? Remix Market is your destination for high-quality pre-loved furniture, home decor, and more. Each purchase helps us rehome items and keep them out of landfills. From statement pieces to everyday essentials, you'll find it all at Remix Market. Visit us online at remixmarket.com and shop secondhand treasures today.